On October 30th, the remaining cards in Blazing Vortex were all revealed. They had a lot of exciting and some weird cards in there, but in today's video I wanted to talk about some of my favorite cards. So we have a new Ritual, we have Card Trader 2.0, and a couple other miscellaneous cards as well. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to subscribe for more content. Tomorrow I'm actually trying to update an older formula for a type of video, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it quite a lot. Today though, we're looking at some OCG cards. Now, like it says in this post, we will not be getting these cards in the TCG until February 2021, so they're a little ways out, but still they're fun to talk about. I will mention here, with all the Blazing Vortex cards now revealed, there were no Volcanic support cards in the set, which was pretty disappointing. There certainly have been Wind and Fire monsters in the set for different archetypes or just standalone cards, but no actual Volcanic monsters, which was pretty disappointing. Regardless, here's the new Paladin of Armored Dragon. This is a level 4 Wind Dragon Ritual monster with 1900 attack points and 1200 defense. It says you can ritual summon this card with Armored Dragon Ritual, which we'll look at in a second, and also it has two effects here that are both hard once per turns. First, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster special summoned from the extra deck, you can shuffle that monster into the deck. Second, you can tribute this card, special summon one level 5 or higher Wind Dragon monster from your hand or deck. Now, I'm gonna say this might sound crazy, but both of these effects are fairly decent. Like, if it was on anything besides a ritual monster, I would be very excited. Shuffling back an extra deck monster is obviously very good. I'm glad they didn't say like the extra monster zone, because now it's like actually works with Master Rule 5, which is always nice. And also special summoning the Thunder Armed Dragon level 5 from your deck is really strong. That is a very good play. The problem, of course, here is that it is on a ritual monster, and while I understand why this card is level 4, all the other Paladin cards that are rituals are level 4, at least to my knowledge. I don't really think it works very well in the Armed Dragon deck. You would want to use a smaller monster like Armed Dragon level 3 for this card, but you can't, and you don't really want to use like the higher level monsters like level 5 or 7. I suppose you do play some level 4 monsters in those decks, and obviously you don't have to use exactly level 4 to ritual summon this thing, but it seems like you would have to use some of your better cards like the higher leveled Armed Dragons if you wanted to reliably summon this card, and those cards would rather be used for dragon effects to trigger their graveyard abilities. The ritual spell card here is Armored Dragon Ritual. It says this card is used to ritual summon Paladin of Armored Dragon. Of course, you can only use this card's names to effect once per turn. The one effect is ritual summon one Paladin of Armed Dragon from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 4 or more, so nothing too fancy here. You can't use cards from like the graveyard or the deck or whatever, just a very standard ritual summoning spell. The second effect here, which is that hard once per turn, during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish monsters from your hand or face-up field whose total levels equal 4 or more. Banish this card from your graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Paladin of Armed Dragon from your graveyard. So here's the thing, it's like two ritual spells in one, which we have seen before. Maybe not quite in this way, but it is a pretty cool thing, I suppose. The idea here is pretty straightforward. You want to have repeated use of your Paladin of Armored Dragon, so on your first turn or whatever turn you're summoning this card, you would take out an opponent's extra deck monster, summon the Thunder Armored Dragon level 5, and then on the next turn you could use this card in the graveyard to re-summon that monster, take out another extra deck monster, and summon another Armed Dragon from your deck. That is pretty good. It's a little bit slow, it's a little bit delayed because you do have to wait several turns to perform all those actions, but still it is pretty good over time. Personally though, I'm not sure if this card will be good enough to see play in the Armored Dragon deck. I've messed around with those new cards quite a bit, and they are pretty decent, but fitting in a ritual engine, I mean, you would play probably like a couple copies of the ritual monster, a couple copies of this, 3 copies of pre-preparation and preparation of rites. I'm just not sure if it's actually like good enough to see competitive play in the Armed Dragon deck. Even with the new Thunder support, which does help out that deck quite a lot, I'm not sure if this is the direction that you want to be going. Still, this new ritual spell and ritual monster are fairly interesting. on paper, all of their effects are good. I'm just not sure if it's good enough. The rest of these cards were not on the Yu-Gi-Oh! News Twitter account, so it's going to look a little bit different. But first up, we have Bluff Reach, the new Card Trader card. It's like Card Trader 2.0. This is a field spell card that says when you draw a card or cards for your normal draw in your draw phase, you can reveal one of those cards, place it on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw one card. When you draw a card or cards by a card effect, you can reveal one of those cards, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck, and if you do that, draw one card. So in some ways, this is better than Card Trader. The ways that it's better is that while it does have the same or at least a similar effect, you can also use this card if you use like Pot of Desires or Lure of Darkness or Card Trader that doesn't really happen. However, the downside of this card compared to Card Trader is that, yeah, you do have to reveal what you draw, and it has to be the drawn card that you are putting back. Remember, with Card Trader, it doesn't have to be the card that you draw, and also you don't have to show your opponent what it is, which means if you draw a good card but you have a bad card in your hand already, you can put it back for a new card. That being said, of course, Card Trader has always been terrible, and Bluff Reach, I'm not sure if this card is going to be good enough to actually see play. It is intriguing though, because it does help you cycle through your cards. The main difference here is that you actually can use this card like the turn that you activate it, where Card Trader, whenever you're using it, you have to play it and then wait an entire turn to actually use its effect. With Bluff Reach though, you could use this card on turn 1 and then activate like a Lure of Darkness or Pot of Desires or whatever you want to, and immediately get that benefit. Is it really worth taking a -1 just to get a different draw? Probably not, but it is kind of interesting here to see Konami sort of taking that Card Trader design and turning it into a more modern card. This thing does have a lot of benefits over Card Trader. I'm not saying it doesn't, but Card Trader was really, really bad and pretty much always has been, so you would need to make it a lot better for it to actually be playable. I will say here though, this card does remind me of something that I've always thought about, and that's that many of the cards like Card Trader and Reload and Magical Mallet are all very close to actually being like broken beyond belief. With Magical Mallet, for example, if you drew however many cards you put back +1 to make up for the Magical Mallet that you lost, that would be broken beyond belief. With this card, a similar fix would be that when you activate it, you get to draw one card. It would be on theme for this card because, yeah, you would be drawing one and then you could immediately use that effect to put it to the bottom of the deck to draw a different card, but it would be way too good because it'd be like a better Upstart Goblin in many ways. That being said, probably not good enough just by itself, even with all the draw power that's out there right now. Electromagnetic Railgun is a cool card. It has, I think, Perfect Machine King in the artwork, or one of the other Machine Kings in the artwork, and it's a very straightforward card. It's not too complicated, but it is a pretty good piece of support for any more controlling sort of machine-based strategy. This is a trap card that says, tribute one machine monster, then target up to one card on the field for every 1,000 original attack the tributed monster had, destroy them. Here's the thing with this card. For it to be okay, you have to pop 2 cards, so you'll have to be tributing a 2,000 or higher attack monster, but it gets a lot better if you're tributing a 3,000 or 4,000 attack monster. Tributing a 4,000 attack monster is very unlikely with this card, but I think it's pretty achievable to tribute a 3,000 attack monster, and in that case, it's pretty darn good. It will be a +1. Maybe you can even use it to like dodge a negation effect your opponent is trying to do on whatever machine monster you're tributing. Will this card be broken instantly? I mean, probably not, but we have had some more controlling machine decks in the past, like Cyber Dragons, for example, which did play a lot of trap cards from time to time. They, of course, have that Overflow card, which is a lot better than this one, but maybe you could even play both of them at the same time. I mean, just get rid of all of your opponent's cards in one turn. That would be pretty crazy. That being said, this card will probably not see play immediately upon release, but maybe in the future, if we have more machine decks that aren't really so aggressive but would rather control the game, this card could be a pretty welcome addition. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.